this session. Welcome to this session. My name is Kazim, and I'm really, really excited to have you join this live session today. Um, Today, we are going to be learning about a very important topic in Yoruba, which is a very important topic in Yoruba, which is about greetings, why they are so important, and why they say a lot about how well mannered the person is, how it talks much about how respectful the person is, and whether they have good characters or not. So these are things in Yoruba culture that are very important and is held at a very high esteem. So it's very easy for someone to tell you you are not of good character or you are not well mannered just because of the way you greet them. So Yoruba is a very very sensitive has a very very sensitive culture that holds greetings to a very very high esteem. So it's very important in Yoruba the way you say you greet. It will say a lot about who you are and how respectful you are. So today's session we are going to be talking about how we greet in Yoruba, and then what greetings and when we use each one of them, common Yoruba greetings, how we greet elders, and where and when we use each of these greetings. Also, we will talk about why respect is important in the Yoruba culture and how you can show respect through greetings. So it's very easy for you to greet an elderly person, and the person will tell you or call you back, am I the one you are greeting like that? Even though you must have greeted them sincerely. So your work is very sensitive, and one has to take note of how you greet how you greet an elderly person. It's very important. If it's somebody that you are older than or your colleague, it's not really an issue. But how you greet an elderly person uh is where Yoruba culture is very sensitive. How you greet them and the tone with which you greet them will say a lot of things. So in today's sessions, we'll learn all about this. Of course, if you have an idea of how to greet before, you also gain more by learning how to do it respectfully. So yeah, why we greet? Why we greet is in Yoruba, why we greet, one of the most important is that it shows we use it to show respect for others. It might be our colleagues, somebody we are older than, or an elderly person. So greetings show that we use greetings to show respect to others. We also use greetings to build good characters. We use greetings to build strong relationship with others. Then we use greetings to show love to others. So in Yoruba, to greet, if I want to greet someone now, an example is saying Ekaro. Ekaro means good morning. Or I can say Ekason, good afternoon. So we'll learn about other ways that we greet in Yoruba in this session. So let's get started. So first thing, we want to learn about when we greet, the way we greet in different times of the day. So greetings by time of the day. So in the morning, we say "Ẹ káàárọ̀." "Ẹ káàárọ̀." Káàárọ̀ is actually the one that means good morning there. But at the beginning is used to show respect to an elderly person. So if you are greeting an elderly person, you have to add at the beginning. If there is no at the beginning, if you are greeting an elderly person, you say "Káàárọ̀," there's going to be a problem. They will say you are not well trained, you have poor characters, you are arrogant. A lot of things they can say. They can count like 10 different things for you just because you greeted them with karo without adding a. So in Yoruba, you need to know the person you are greeting. If it's an elderly person, then it's compulsory to add at the beginning of the greeting. So if I say karo, if I say good morning to a person that is older than me, I will tell the person karo. If I want to greet somebody that is my age mate or somebody that is younger than me, I just need to say Karo. I don't need the at the beginning. So this is very important. So if I say a Karo to another person, the person will reply Karo. So that person can reply Karo with that because the person is older than me. But if it's somebody that is younger than me that I want to greet, I don't need the if it's just a younger person I'm greeting, I'll just say Karo. Then the person that is younger will have to tell me karo to show respect to me. Another situation where we use is if we are greeting a group of people, more than two or more people. So we can use to just show that you acknowledge that there are many there. So you're greeting all of them together at once. So karo, good morning. Karo is the reply from an elderly person. Or if we are age mates, I can use to show respect to somebody that we are age mates. You can be a colleague at work, and I do not want to be disrespectful. I know he's not older than me, so I can just use to show respect to him. Ekaro, then he also replies Ekaro. But if it's somebody, maybe say a close friend, we are age mates, we don't need to show any extra respect to each other. So I can just tell him Karo, then he will reply Karo. So in the afternoon, we say Eka son, and the person reply Ka son if the person is older than me. But if it's my age mate, the person say Ka son also. If it's a younger person, to me, the person will have to use to show respect to me. A Ka son. In the evening, we say Kale, Kale. Good evening is Kale. Then the person reply Kale. Is just what we use to show respect. So you can see it's very important in Yoruba. Even though you know how to greet, you should also learn how to greet respectfully. And this at the beginning is is the number one what's it called? Is the number one keyword that you need to add to your greeting to show that you are giving respect to the person. If you greet another person and say Kale without the you are looking for trouble. If it's somebody that is close to you and somebody that can talk to you, that can insult you based on that. So there are many situations where Yoruba men or Yoruba elderly people would call you back and insult you for greeting them, for not greeting them properly. So yeah, this is one of those situations you need to take note of. Now, one other greeting that is very important is when when I want to say good night in Yoruba, I'll say Odaaro. Odaaro is good night. So in this case, you don't need to add in this case. Odaaro is just Odaaro. Whether the person is older or younger, just say Odaaro. So if I'm greeting another person, like if I say I want to say good night, daddy, I'll say Odaaro, daddy. So it means good night, daddy. And daddy can also say Odaaro, ọmọ mi. Good night, my son or my child. Ó good night. Ọmọ, child. Me, my. So it's ó ọmọ mi. Good night, my child. So this is how we say good night in Yoruba. So it's very important that you learn each of these. So of like Odaro now does not need any special what's it called? It does not need any special keyword to add to the beginning. You don't need air to it. Just say Odaro to anybody you are greeting. So yeah, also other greetings that we use to ask about people's well-being. One of it is Baweni. Baweni in Yoruba, sorry. This is Baweni in Yoruba means how are you doing? So how are you? So say Baweni, I'm asking about how you are doing. So Baweni, the person if you say Baweni to someone, the person will say Da ni. Da means Dada in Yoruba is well. So all fine. So if I say Da ni, it means I am fine or I am well. So I say Baweni, how are you? Then the person replies ni, I am fine. So also I can ask ṣé àlàáfíà ni? Are you well? Then the person will reply ṣé àlàáfíà ni? So the person also replies ni. This is actually a mistake here. So if I say báwo ni, you say ni. Then if I ask you ṣé àlàáfíà ni, you also say ni. Ó dàárọ̀ here is is if you are greeting someone good night and then good night. So this is not the correct answer here. So if I say báwo ni, you say dáadáa ni. If I say ṣé àlàáfíà ni, that is are you well? You also say dáadáa ni, or you say àlàáfíà ni, I am well. Àlàáfíà ni for ṣé àlàáfíà ni. You say àlàáfíà ni, I am well. Or you say dáadáa ni. So dáadáa ni is like a general response to somebody that is asking about your well-being. So if I say báwo ni, how are you? Then you say dáadáa ni, I am fine. Also if I say ṣé àlàáfíà ni, are you well? You also say dáadáa ni, or you say àlàáfíà ni. Ṣé àlàáfíà ni? Then you say àlàáfíà ni. So I do not to. There are other variants, so I think it's better if you just stop it. Let's not complicate things. So say àlàáfíà ni, or you say ṣé àlàáfíà ni, you just say dáadáa ni. So that's a general response to such greetings. So let's talk about how we greet elders. How we greet elders. I've talked about this before, but a more appropriate way. First thing I said, is very important that you add when you are greeting an elderly person. Another thing you can add is sir or ma. So if I want to greet an elderly man, I will say ẹ káàárọ̀ sir, meaning good morning, sir. So that sir, it shows respect, and elderly people actually like it when you add sir or ma to them. But sir does not cancel the need to add a at the beginning. So I cannot say káàárọ̀ sir. They will still look at you somewhere. Where did you throw the air to? Because air shows that you are respecting them. So you have to say ẹ káàárọ̀ sir. Then the elderly person will now reply káàárọ̀ without air because they are older. They don't need to add air to greet you. So they say káàárọ̀ ọmọ mi, good morning my child. So for a girl also we say ẹ kú lé mà. We add the ma, we add the at the beginning, also add the ma at the end. Ẹ kú lé mà. Then the mother or the elderly woman replies káàbọ̀. So if you say ẹ kú lé, now this is another greeting we've not talked about before, which I will also mention. Ẹ kú lé. Ẹ kú lé is, let's say I'm coming from somewhere or I'm coming from school, then my parents are in the house. So when I want to enter the house, I'll say ẹ kú lé o, meaning that you are coming and you are greeting the people inside the house. That I'm back, everyone. How are you doing? How have you been? Or something like that. That's how it sounds. So Yoruba have a greeting for somebody who is just coming from somewhere. Before entering the house, you have to say ẹ kú lé, telling them that you have come back and you are greeting those who are in the house. Ẹ kú lé. So if I say ẹ kú lé mà, then the person will reply káàbọ̀. Káàbọ̀ means welcome. So we say káàbọ̀ ọmọ mi, welcome my child. So these are examples of how we greet. So it's important to add ẹ at the beginning, and then additional thing you can add is ma or sir. So also, one other thing that is good is that you should learn to greet others with a smile to show that you are happy to greet them. You cannot say ẹ káàárọ̀ and you frown up like this. Ẹ káàárọ̀ sir. They'll be like, am I the one you are frowning at? That's you. There are up like 1,000 ways to have problems with Yoruba parents. So you can greet them and say have problem with them, and you not greeting them is even worse. So you can greet them and you find yourself in trouble. Not greeting them, you find yourself in trouble. So the way you greet them, the manner with which you greet them, the intonation with which you say the greeting when you are greeting them is also another issue. So these are things, a lot of things that you need to take note of when you are dealing with Nigerian parents, or let me just say Yoruba parents generally. So one other thing that is also very important is when you greet a Yoruba person, you prostrate. For if it's a male, we prostrate. But things are changing now, and some our parents these days don't tending to not be too strict about prostrating. So now you can just say a car, the Yoruba culture, a little. That's then from a girl, kneel down, kneel all the way down. But things are changing now. They can just squat a little without touching the ground, without going all the way down. So yeah, if it's a modern parent, they would not really mind. But there are some parents who are still traditional and they will force you that you cannot greet me like that and go away. Come back here, lie down flat. They'll tell you, lie down flat there. So you have to lie down flat and greet them. So it depends. You should know the person you are greeting actually. But I know that these times most parents are not as strict with that. As it used to be in the past. So in the past, it's something that they are very strict about. You can greet them properly, but you do not prostrate. You are going nowhere. You have to come back, prostrate before you can go where you want to go. So yeah, these are things that you need to take note of. You add "a" when you are greeting an elderly person. Then you can also add "sir" or "ma" when you are greeting them. Then try to greet them cheerfully so that they know that you are happy to greet them. And also, if you can bow a little or prostrate if you know the person you are greeting would want that you should prostrate while greeting, or kneel when you know that they would force you to kneel while greeting. These are some of the Yoruba cultures of greetings, of greeting elderly persons. So let's talk about some special Yoruba greetings. So there are some greetings that are meant for different occasions. So we are going to talk about those also. Just a second. Just so we are going to learn about some special greetings depending on the occasion. How we greet people in some. Sorry, this is okay. We've talked about greeting elders. Please just give me a minute. So we want to talk about some special greetings depending on the situation. So special occasions have some special greetings that you use when you find yourself in such situation. So for example, we've talked about when somebody comes in, you say ekabo. Ekabo means welcome. Ekabo means welcome. And there are situations where we use ekabo. So ekabo is somebody comes into your house and greets you ekule o. So you can greet someone ekule o. Ekule is the greeting you say when you enter a house and you want to greet the people inside. So if you say ekule o, the person inside will say ekabo. Ekabo means welcome. So ekabo is what you say welcome. You put if the person is older than you or there are more than one person entering the house. So ekabo. But if it's just one person that is younger than you, you say kabo. So ekushe is well done. So you are greeting somebody that is working. You can say ekushe. If it's someone that is working, you say ekushe. Ekushe is well done. Oh, ekushe. Oh, you add if it's an elderly person or there are more than one person there. So ekushe. Oh, pele in Yoruba means sorry. So pele o, if somebody hurts themselves or they are sick or they are tired, we say pele o. So pele means sorry or be comforted. So just to comfort someone. Somebody can say, "Oh, I have a headache, my head are aching, my body, I have body temperature." So we just say, "Ah, pele, pele." Pele is sorry. Or somebody hurts themselves or they have a little injury. You also tell them pele. So we've talked about ekule. Ekule and ekabo are used together. So if I say ekule it is used when someone is used this greeting that I used to greet someone that is in the house. You go visit your friends When you want to enter their house, you say Ekuleo to greet the people inside. Then they will tell you E Kabo, or they can tell you Kabo. Kabo is welcome. E Kabo is welcome to show respect to an elderly person. So yeah, these are some. This is going to be like the part one of this. We have several other ways that we greet, but I think one important lesson we can pick out of this is the use of "e" to show respect, and using "sa" or "ma" to show respect to elders. And then be cheerful when you are greeting a Yoruba person, because if you front to greet them, they will turn me to something. They will tell me like the greeting does not come from your mind, that you are just greeting it because you are being forced or under duress to greet them. So it's all very important to know who you are greeting, and that will determine how you are going to greet them and what impression they will have of you after you have greeted them. So a quick thing we want to do now is a practice to test if you have really mastered this properly. So looking at this, so let's just look at the quick practice that we can try out. So in Yoruba, in the morning, what is the greeting that we say early in the morning? So it is early in the morning. So in the morning, the greeting we say is what? We say "Ẹ káàárọ̀ o," which is good morning. We say "Ẹ káàárọ̀," good morning. So this is the greeting we say in the morning. If a visitor comes to your house, you tell them welcome. So you say "Ẹ káàbọ̀" for if a visitor comes to your house. Ẹ káàbọ̀ if a visitor comes to your house. If you see someone that is working hard, you tell them Ẹ kú iṣẹ́ o, well done. Ẹ kú iṣẹ́ o, well done. Oh, so Ẹ kú iṣẹ́ means well done. Then if you see somebody that falls and is hurt, is injured, you tell them Bele o, to comfort someone. Then finally, if it's nighttime and you want to say good night, you say Ó dàárọ̀, to say good night. So yeah, that is it. And this is how we greet in Yoruba. These are some of the greetings we've learned in this lesson, in this live session. So yeah, that is just going to be the end of our live stream for today. So see you um, in our next session, where we are going to be delving into more Yoruba culture that you need to know about. They are very important, that you need, as a parent, that you need to know and to train your children in also. Yeah, of course, many Nigerian parents these days do not really care about or do not really know much about Yoruba culture anymore. But the issue comes when they go to their grandparents, when they go to visit them, and these grandparents always take this very, very important. They don't joke with the culture. So they don't joke with the manners in which the children greet them, how they speak with others. So the respect in this case is very important. When you find yourself in a situation that you have children that are going to their grandparents, so you need to train them in a way that they will be proud that, oh, you are training your children in the proper way. Because greetings is one of those things that determines how well trained children are. So we are going to stop it here for today. So yeah, of course, if you have questions, you can drop them in the comment section. I'll be ready to answer your questions anytime, any soon. So thank you very much. This is where we are going to drop the curtain on this session today. So see you in our next session. Thank you, everyone.